Hello everyone, welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm your host Simon. As we draw ever closer to Christmas and the end of the year, today is part 2 of our look back over the last 12 months to close out the year. So we're going to share more of our favourite highlights and lowlights, openings, closures, and maybe a few things to look forward to in 2025. So grab a Christmas tipple and join us for a waffle.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
So we've hit mid-December now. Christmas is just 10 days away, which has to mean decorations are up now. Trees decorated, topped with their shining stars or their angels. Talking of angelic, joining me on today's show, we have John.
That's what intro that is. I was on the naughty list for the first of the month show. I've gone up in the world. I tell you what, right? I'm going to get the hotline.
Just readdressing the balance.
Yeah,
You've redeemed yourself, John.
Hotline to Santa. It's just like, here we go. Come on, matey.
Got a good cop, bad cop every now and again, John.
Big present incoming in a couple of weeks. Was it? What, just over 10 days' time, whatever it is. There we go. Happy. That'd be good. I'll go with that.
Well, Ben and Becca, hi guys.
Hello. I can see that Claire's also with us, but I've noticed that it's still 10 days to go and there's still no Christmas tree. Still no Christmas decorations. Is that right, Claire?
I'm ready, Claire. That's it.
No. That's pretty much correct, yeah. But do you know what? I'm trying to remember which comedians. Was it Morecambe and Wise when they did their Christmas angels or something in like their pink sheety dresses with their long wings?
Hang on. Across, is it sheet?
Sheety, I said.
I'm not even going to say it because actually the way I'll say it, it'll come out wrong.
I was thinking about all those school nativities.
No, now we really are talking sheety, yes.
The role you must.
I've been to far too many school nativities in my life for anyone. That's it. It's just like it was. For any teachers out there who are listening to this, I really feel for you, and I'm glad I'm no longer a teacher because I hated the run up to Christmas.
It was always those strange, even semi-children. It's like you have to have everyone needs their own role. Yeah. So it's like, was it in Love Actually, or was it someone was a third lobster?
Yeah.
It's like, what's that part of it?
Right. Usually they just made you villager.
The three kings outfits that were made from the curtains.
There we go.
We had in the school. The orange and brown swirly ones that everyone remembers.
That somehow feels like cultural appropriation.
But British. Yeah, British culture appropriation.
It's recycling at its finest. Let's put it down that route. That's it.
It is this. Absolutely.
Very Sound of Music.
Welcome, Claire.
Thank you very much for the welcome. I'm sorry, I just completely interjected and I didn't wait for your welcome.
It's always bad.
Sorry, son.
And welcome, last but not least, Robyn as well.
Oh, you didn't forget me this week.
I didn't forget on the last show.
I'm really impressed though because actually, Simon did such a good job of presenting the first of the month show. We've allowed him to do the mid-month show as well. Just to allow that continuity.
Yep.
This will be the last one, though, John.
But I love we're all wearing the same outfits as last time.
Yeah, nothing's changed. We all remembered.
I can't really see mine. I'm just a floating head like Tommy on Red Tour.
I'll also refer people back to some of our previous Christmas shows where Claire had a really nice jumper on it, and it involved a little bit of movement of the hand to go and find it. It was highly inappropriate, but it was really, really funny.
It was one of those t-shirts where the sequins are reversed and it says Merry Christmas one way and it says Happy New Year the other. And it just so happens it's a little head on the front. That's all.
Demonstrate.
Yeah, well,
That was on one of our Christmas party shows, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I need to find that.
Oh, yeah,
I need to find
definitely.
that T-shirt and wear it more often.
So, on to our discussion for today, then, part 2 of our 2024 retrospective. And we're picking up from July. So, July 2024. I'm going to start at Universal because I know there wasn't a lot in part 1. Universal's Mega Parade opened, and I have to say, I love the look of this parade.
Oh, it's epic.
It's
It's
amazing.
really good.
Absolutely epic.
So much in it
It's
from
so good.
Ghostbusters, Jaws, Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
It's just
Although
amazing.
there is.
Yeah.
I
There's
will
a
say,
shark
I
in
think
it.
we might have been standing in the wrong place though, because the music was slightly out of time with the parade.
There was also an incoming storm, so I had a feeling they were trying to speed it up. So it was just slightly out of time, but it
Maybe.
was still really good.
So to have Back to the Future and Jaws on it is enough for me to.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good parade. It was first time in Universal, probably in 8 years, I think, for me. And one of the main reasons I went is because I wanted to see that parade, which just goes to show I will do anything for a bit of entertainment in the thing. And it did not disappoint. It was very good.
Same.
I think this is going to be this is going to be a recurring theme, probably of our shows for next year in particular. I know I finished. I know I finished the first of the month show in talking about how Universal got the PR right and things like that. But again, does it not kind of sum up where Universal are completely happy in their own skin to actually put rides that were previously actually really good at Universal, but not be frightened of actually putting them into a parade and actually sharing it with people who's like, come and see Jaws again in a different incarnation. And I love that. And I think that for me is something that, I think we'll probably end up seeing a bit more from Universal. And I love the fact that they did that. And I think it's a lovely way of remembering what was there originally.
I think they should just put a Jaws and Back to the Future attraction
back in.
You can bring it back.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of love in those movies.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
And I love they have a tribute store, so they've still got some incredible merchandise and also some incredible setups in there from the films as well. It's amazing.
Oh, the store is amazing. And actually, Back to the Future has stood the test of time really, really well, because I think I mentioned when we talked about Universal that I watched it with Mills probably 2 months ago. She'd never seen it, and it's still great. It's still great. She's still enthralling. It's still exciting. And Michael J. Fox might be, 58 now or something, but it's still an incredible movie, and I would happily see The Simpsons remixed.
Oh, definitely. I'm not sure if you saw Michael J. Fox in was it this year's Glastonbury when he was with Coldplay as well? And I know that his condition is so debilitating now, and it's really quite heartbreaking to see him, and actually to go back and actually be able to watch Back to the Future and see him at his prime now appears even more brilliant. And I really, my heart went out to him. I actually felt Coldplay were bang out of order, wheeling him onto the stage. I think it really didn't sit well with me, because actually as an actor, he was actually second to nobody in his day. He really was.
I think he's incredibly resilient as an individual, though. I think that's the thing, right? Is he's never, even through all of his treatment and his diagnosis, he's always remained this positive beacon for sufferers. And I think he's retained a sense of humor. I think is a Canadian trait that I think he's if you watched his program on Apple TV, I thought that was a really great story to hear of his life. I loved the story about him and his wife, that they met on a TV show and they've been together and they've got kids and they're still together now. I think it's just endearing. It makes you like Michael J. Fox even more, I think, seeing him in that way.
Yeah.
His autobiography is amazing. I've read that. It's so good.
Put it in your late Christmas Christmas gift. No, that's it. That's it. On that.
And I'm gonna. We're obviously recording this a little bit ahead of time. I'm hoping that the same way we talked about Joe Rogan. As far as I'm aware, Michael J. Fox has not passed away. So we are talking about him as if he had. Let's not do that.
Good to cover that point there, Claire. Definitely. Otherwise we'll start a curse and things like that. So yeah, best not. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that. God, Simon, something else I
the amazing Country Bear musical jamboree reopened at Magic Kingdom.
So it had a refurbishment and it was changed. They changed the songs.
I still remember.
Do you know what? I did not enjoy it previously, and I still don't think it's amazing, but I do think it's marginally better than it was.
That's not saying much. I still refuse to go and see it.
So it's improved slightly.
I couldn't make it worse.
I agree. I don't think they could make it worse. In my opinion, they couldn't make it worse. It's interesting.
And I know there are people out there that love it, but...
yeah.
So I've seen it now, I think the new version about 4 times. I feel about it. I think it's good. I think they've added some humour into it, which is good. The thing that I remember from my last visit, so I went to see that while Dan and Millie were riding Tiana's. And I looked around me. So I was sat probably about somewhere in the middle of the theatre, and I looked around, and the kids were loving it because the music is more current, it's more modern. It's akin to the sort of Song Utopia, various things. The kids that were in there were bouncing on the seats, they were joining in, they were singing, and you didn't get that before because, let's face it, the kids didn't know the song, the lyrics to Blood on a Saddle. So the fact that they can sing along and the fact they can enjoy it, and it's a bit of fun. I think it's a better version, and I think it has got an appeal that perhaps.
What I found interesting, there was a story that in one of the Imagineers had a plan for this, and this was one of Walt's ideas, and he took it to Walt before he passed away about having Country Bear Jamboree with Disney songs and characters. So it's just an idea that has lived on, and it has come to a point that they've changed it, and it's
They've just used their back catalogue, which is great, and I think that it gives them the opportunity to upgrade it and change it in the future for more songs that are.
As I mentioned in the start of the month,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
This was a show that I really disliked intensely. Right, I hated it. I would always every single time I went in. And I was forced to go in to see it, right? And like I said, Josh loved it. So we'd always go in. I would always take a picture of the exit sign because that was my favourite part of the show. I would do the same gag each and every time I wrote about it. And things like that. I've got to say, this new show absolutely engaged me to the absolute maximum. It has so many little nods to the past, which I love, because actually, if you're one of those people who are really into opening day and sort of traditional Disney attractions, there's so many little acknowledgements of what the past was, but it updated it, and actually it exceeded what I was expecting it to be. And that really for me was something else, because actually musically I felt like you said, Claire, I think it engaged so many more people. And what was really, really lovely to see is the fact that even by the time we got to August, it was packed. Every single show was packed again and again and again. And it wasn't people seeking out aircon, which it has been in the past. It was people going in and people prepared to have a really good time. And I've got to admit, I think we probably saw it more in 3 weeks in August than probably we've seen it in 10 trips previously. It was that good. And it was that bit where when you always question Imagineering. I know I do very much so during this show, but it was one of them that you look back at the job that has been done at EPCOT, you think, yeah, someone's actually taken a lead on that. The Journey of Water with Moana was absolutely superb. In this case, they've actually taken a traditional, proper attraction and actually made it more pleasurable. And I think that's what we can only hope moving forward.
I will say, John, that's subjective. I do know people that prefer the old one and they think the new one. But I am with you. I think it's much. It was needed. It was I wasn't just going in to escape the air conditioning anymore.
No, that's the only reason. I would never have gone in previously.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It really surprised me, and I love the fact that the level of engagement with the audience was really, really. I think that's what made it for me. It's the fact that they've kind of aimed again, like Claire said, to bring in that younger audience, because actually, not many people are going to see many of the musical references from the original show, and it's good. And if you haven't been there yet, go with an open mind and go and be prepared to be surprised.
Yeah.
So we're hitting that summer, height of summer. We're into August, and two things appear in August. Food and Wine Festival opens. Great. I think nearly everybody here has been to Food and Wine.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I think everybody's experienced Food and Wine and the delights of being drunk around the World Showcase and rowdy people, friendship boats. And, but Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I know this is always a bit of an unusual one for people that are less familiar with Disney's Halloween parties, but it started its earliest ever this year, with it starting on August the 9th. So
That seems crazy.
we're getting further into summer.
It's like 2.5 months almost before.
So how long before it starts in July?
Isn't it?
That'll be next year.
Yeah, but the problem is, someone suggests that you get dressed up, so you get dressed up in something that is completely inappropriately over warm.
Yeah.
He says, looking at Claire, and actually the costume that Maud got for the Halloween party this year.
I think because it was pure nylon, 100%.
It's just like, I've got to say that for me, that was one of the highlights of this year. And I really love the fact that you can go in August, you can go and celebrate Halloween, but you've got to dress up. And if you're going next year, I shall just share with us in the Wafflers Arms any costume that you go with, because actually, once you get beyond that little moment of feeling a little self-conscious because you're dressed up, it was such good fun. And that really...
Yeah, there is always that bit when you walk from your room, John.
Yeah.
And you're looking around and you don't see anyone else in costume.
That's why I'm not here.
And then
you put the first other person. You're like, oh, thank God, it's not just me.
But it becomes so good because anyone else is dressed up and they're like, hey, brilliant, gotta be a good night. And then you're looking at them going, and there was me. I thought I was getting dressed up. Look at you. You've got the greatest costume in the world, and I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a really
we stood in the queue
experience.
for Tiana's at the Halloween party, and it was just incredible. We just saw so many people in different costumes. Kind of like they've done an incredible job. Just give me more ideas for next year.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yep.
So August was big announcement month as well. The D23 Horizons event was hosted in August, and that churned out. I think this was Disney's response to Epic Universe, or as close as they could get to try and counteract some of the positives happening on the other side of Orlando. But
to be fair, though, I remember when I was promised loads of stuff at the last D23 event that suddenly got swept under the carpet. So I recommend every Disney fan out there takes all of these with a grain of salt. Let's see what actually happens.
The most important thing out of that list that I think we were all hoping for and all excited about was the nighttime parade coming to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Yes. It's about time. It should have been there for the 50th. So 5 years, 6 years late.
Yeah.
But as long as we get one, it's about time.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, Robyn, the more entertainment, the better.
Exactly. You can never, that's what it always has set Disney apart from other theme parks, is their level of entertainment, their quality of entertainment, and their attention to detail. Universal really stepped up their game when they brought in Harry Potter. Their level of detail when that opened all those years ago, I think Disney kind of needed to realise even then that, oh, hang on, someone else is doing something really well as well. We need to try and do more. And I'm not saying they haven't tried to do more, but certainly in the last few years, I've been quite disappointed at the amount of ways I think Disney's been lacking, especially in the entertainment department.
Yeah, very much so.
I won't mention the trolley show, I promise.
No, you need to. You have have to
I
mention
was just about to say the thing that wasn't mentioned was where is the trolley show?
I don't know, but it should be there, Claire. It should be.
I can't understand why they wouldn't bring it back. There is no sensible reason.
It comes back to everything with Disney. Money.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay people to dance. They don't want to pay people to train.
What, 8 people for...
Yeah, but
4
it's there. They
hours,
don't
if that.
they can't just have them for the 4 hours. They then have to display that. That's not enough for a whole shift. So they have to find somewhere else for them to work later in the day.
So
And they've cut loads of the parade out. So that there's less of the parade. Normally they would do the trolley and the parade.
And it means they have to keep people rotated into that as well.
They are
So
short
that
on
the-
performers at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bigger issue. I agree with you, Claire. I completely agree with you. How much would it actually cost to put that show on, and how much joy does it bring?
Do you think there might be a shift? Because there's going to be a lot of, as we found out at D23, a lot of things are going to either close or go under refurbishment. So what are they going to do? If you're closing rides, you're closing attractions, there's going to be filling up places with entertainment is going to actually be another reason for drawing people into that park. Because we remember how many times we've been to Hollywood Studios with walls everywhere, same with EPCOT, that actually you need entertainment as well. You need, if you can't have a ride that's going to be refurbished quickly, best way to do it is put more entertainment, more shows on.
Yeah, agreed. But Disney don't want to hear it.
And you want that as
I think the thing is that you've got a whole, you're starting to get that far on since those things were there, that there's people that are now going that don't remember that used to be a thing.
a good call.
They don't remember the trolley show. They don't remember Citizens of Main Street or Citizens of Hollywood Boulevard. They don't have those memories the same that people that have been going for 10 plus years. And they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know that they're missing something there. It's only if you go to Disneyland and I think I've told everybody at the moment, I'm much more favourable towards Disneyland in Anaheim right now, just because they've still got that element of entertainment and live performers in and around. I don't know how long that's going to stay the way it is in Disneyland, the way that Disney's moving, but that there's still the elements of that there. But yeah, I think it's a sad thing that they haven't yet taken that step to bring those things back to the park. Maybe the nighttime parade coming back will reinvigorate some of that enthusiasm for the live entertainment. But
yeah, I hope so. See what else is coming. What else did they announce?
Loads of stuff. Tropical America's in Animal Kingdom, so there's Encanto in Indiana Jones.
Now I believe that's coming because Dinoland is actually closing. So I believe that
Dinosaur is going to be no more.
Yeah.
And the Zootopia Better Zootopia is coming to the Tree of Life. So that's going to replace Tough to Be a Bug. So I think we already know that's closing.
Yeah, they've given us a rough time of that. It's going to be next winter.
Yeah. And then I think the one that was always has been on the cards, I think, for probably the best part of 10 years was always Beyond Thunder Mountain, which was this blue sky thing about what were they possibly going to do at Magic Kingdom. And that's when they announced Villains Land, which has always been this little niggly thing that everybody's talked about. The surprising one, Mike, was Cars.
Yeah.
To bring Cars to Magic Kingdom, it seems like a bit more of a strange.
It seems strange. And also, I was expecting when they announced Cars, they're just going to do a carbon copy of Radiator Springs. But no, it's a completely different concept. And I think at the recent IAPA event, they actually showed the sort of the workings of the attraction, of what you're going to be sort of riding on. So it's quite interesting to see the concept. I still don't know how they're going to fit it in that area, but that's something for Disney Imagineer to solve, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could see it working with Big Thunder Mountain, though, that sort of desert kind of theme.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that working.
I wonder if it's just to have another IP in the park that's not princesses.
Maybe, because there's a lot of princesses in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. There will probably be even more with Villains Land opening, because you can't really have a villain without a heroine or a hero.
And fun enough, Cars is the franchise of Cars actually is one of the ones that sells the most merchandise.
Really?
Cars.
Yeah.
Didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Because it's just a load of cars, right? I think every kid has.
Every child has toy cars.
Why not have Disney toy
And it's
cars?
probably just like you
I
said
mean,
on
we bought a
Disney.
set,
Disney's idea of like, okay, we need something that's going to sell a lot of merchandise. There we go, cars. Put that in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
are.
Maybe,
There we go.
maybe we'll get.
And let's be honest, nobody's buying merchandise,
Yeah.
are they? Nobody's buying
Yeah,
that.
we'll maybe get a re-theme of the railroad. Maybe Thomas the Tank Engine themed as well. Like,
I don't think Disney quite own that one yet.
no, not yet.
Yeah.
It's on the cards. It's on the cards. There we go.
And then there was the finally the edition at Hollywood Studios of Monstropolis, Monsters Inc. one.
Yeah.
And finally the door roller coaster.
Yep.
I feel like it's one ride that any Disney fan has said for many, many years, they should do a roller coaster that's themed on Monsters Inc.
Yep.
with all the doors.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like Disney have gone, we've got this great idea.
Yep.
Didn't come from all the fans. It's all our own.
Yeah, we've just
Well,
saw
they've just
it.
kind of gone, you've asked for it, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're giving you
all
what
they
you
said.
want.
So I think that was a lot of this D23. There's been a lot of speculation, especially when a lot of it, the past few D23 events have been about blue sky thinking, blue sky ideas. And here we go, here's actually what we're going to do. But now we know exactly in Hollywood Studios where it's going.
Yeah.
And I know
And
we
that
spoke about when we did the D23.
That still gives me a problem where it's going. It really does.
I'm
You know,
I'm torn.
Yeah.
But I
have to say that I'm less torn.
My struggle is that they've got this big building in Launch Bay and the animation courtyard, which they've still got the Little Mermaid show, which is due to open apparently sometime in the next 12 months, which who knows when that's going to be.
Wasn't it just open last summer?
Pretty much. But this is Disney's way of doing things now.
Yeah.
But what are they going to do with it? It's like an empty space. There's nothing in there. What are they going to do? They need to do something, I think, with that land, that area. And it seemed like it would be the perfect place because you could have Toy Story Land and then you have Monstropolis, which could have been like a carrying like Pixar place. It would have made more sense.
But at the same time,
that's the bit, Ben, that I really struggle with because actually with getting rid of the Muppets, because the Muppets between Star Tours and Star Wars Land, etc., it's like a blot on the landscape.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I would concede the fact that it needs some form of an update with the Muppets, but there's an awful lot of land there. But to go and put in part of a Pixar film between Star Wars Land and Star Tours seems completely ill thought out in regard of the actual theme of the actual park. And I don't know. It's just, I don't see how that flow between Pixar Place, Star Wars, and the rest of Hollywood Studios actually, I'm hoping that there's maybe a route round the back or something like that where you I think there's immersive part of it.
That awkward part of where, since Galaxy's Edge opened, that Star Tours doesn't really fit anymore.
Yeah,
where it is,
because it's in the wrong
feels
place,
disjointed.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And is it something that actually do you need Star Tours there anymore? Now you've got Galaxy's Edge. Is it something that
I'll reference back to Disneyland because Disneyland has exactly the same problem. Right, the Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland is over the opposite side of the park, and Tomorrowland has got Star Tours. So they're separate in both of the parks. They don't. They're not cohesively joined. But yeah, I think that's always been probably a bugbear of every Imagineer that's gone to Hollywood Studios. That they've got this gap in between that they've filled with stuff that's separate Star Wars attractions that have got something in between them. But looking at the concept art for Monstropolis, I think that it looks really good. It's disappointing at the moment how that entire area feels quite underutilized.
Oh, well, half of it's closed.
When you've got the Muppets shop. You've got Pizza Rizzo, Mama Melrose.
The Christmas shop that's closed.
Yeah, which is a bit of
the Mama Melrose restaurant and the Pizza Rizzo restaurant. But I think looking at what they're going to do with that area, and they're going to expand to put the roller coaster ride in behind all of that. And I think if you go on Google Maps, you can sort of see where that's likely to be. But they're going to put in another show in the theatre. So they're not going to lose the theatre completely. It's going to be reused, and then there's going to be House and something restaurant, I think. that they're going to create as well. So I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think it's going to work really well. I completely agree. I think they've got to figure out what they're going to do with that launch page, because I think that's got to be the next thing they announce. Right? Is what are they going to do with that?
I'm with you, Ben. I feel quite torn because I love the Muppets, but at the same time, I am kind of excited to see them go into Rock and Roller Coaster and to see. Hopefully, they'll have more than just that. Hopefully, they'll have other. They might have a shop. They might have a restaurant. So I'm hoping there'll be more than just the ride for those people who maybe don't like roller coasters but love the Muppets.
Well, they did.
There's been an announcement that the Jim Henson Company and Disney have both said that they're looking at the ways to preserve the story of Muppet Vision.
Yeah.
So
they said they specifically said in its current incarnation.
Yeah.
Coming soon to Disney Plus. That'll be it. It should be a shame.
A 2D version of Muppet Vision.
It really would be a shame.
Yeah.
And actually, I still go back. It's only a couple of weeks ago when they announced this. I felt it was a really bad bit of timing, and I don't think that. Again, it goes back to how you do your PR, doesn't it? And to come out and say, "All right, we're going to move all of that away," and yet you still got people who are sharing stuff on social media and talking about just the legacy of Jim Henson. And I think I mentioned it on one of our Wednesday shows, or even one of the latest podcasts. It appears as if Disney don't want any of the Henson productions at the forefront of the Disney parks, which I think is a real shame. I know we did the Burn the Big Blue House show a couple of years ago, but nobody's really taken ownership of any of the Henson production stuff. And I feel it's a real shame, just for the fact that, if you're of an age where you watch the Muppets on a Sunday night, the Muppets still have a real role to play. I know, Becca, you mentioned way back about them actually incorporating Muppets Christmas Carol into the parks as well. And how Disney could be a little bit more creative and use the Muppets just as a way of actually telling some form of story. And I think we've already had a conversation in our house about Rock and Roller Coaster and how that might actually pan out as a story. I probably suggest that might be a good show for 2025 for us to actually look at maybe the music that they could even suggest and how that pans out. But it's I just love this whole thing of when you put something positive within a park, how immediately everybody else gets real positive thoughts of, they could do this, they could do this, they could do this. And I think that's where we're going to be sitting with Monsteropolis.
Yeah.
So not only was there Disney World announcements, there's announcements at Disneyland and Disneyland Paris as well. So Disneyland got news of a Coco attraction, expansion on their Avengers campus, new rides coming there. And the one that I think we mentioned about Joe Rohde's return to Imagineering is that they're getting an Avatar-themed expansion at California Adventure there as well. Really? So I think that's probably an indication of where Joe Rohde's interest was coming back to provide some advice on that. Even though I did read an article with him where he said that dealing with Avatar was what nearly saw him off. I think probably the stress of managing that through his implementation was pretty stressful.
I think it was probably doing Avatar and Mission Breakout at the exact same time.
Yeah, probably.
But if anybody's been on Mission Breakout, I think that is such a great version of Tower of Terror.
But don't get rid of Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios.
Don't get rid of it at Hollywood Studios.
No.
But
it's a nice
sacrilege.
And then the unusual one was Disneyland Paris getting a Lion King flume ride. It seemed like an odd addition to put in a Paris park when it's
especially when it's snowing.
Maybe they'll heat the water.
He said like 25 degrees.
Well, I wouldn't want to get wet in
like
winter in Disneyland.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Don't want to do it in winter. But I do think they were missing a water ride. In the summer, when it's roasting hot, I think they're missing a water ride in Disneyland Paris.
Claire disagrees.
I'm not sure I would have put Lion King.
You're going to have it closed for they're going to have
have
it
I
they'll
mean,
probably do maintenance for when
to ride it.
Nah,
Yeah,
they'll have it
October
open and people will be on it in ponchos. You might
No.
not.
Yeah, but
winter
Unless they
you
could
could
do
be on it.
something.
Yeah.
French people don't wear ponchos.
But you know there would be those people that we
That's
voted with their
British.
ponchos.
Unless
got
they
bit-
can do something where in the winter it's just a normal roller coaster, and in the summer they can add water to it to make it a log flume. So it's kind of a hybrid-y sort
I have to admit, the concept art
thing.
was quite funny because obviously Tiana's had just opened when this D23 announcement happened, and it looks exactly like they've copied Splash Mountain. So anyone who didn't like Tiana's gone like, well, Disneyland Paris, here we go, you're getting Splash Mountain, just themed to Lion King.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of having a Lion King themed rides and a Lion King themed area.
It's weird for Lion King to be the IP because there's literally no water in the Lion King.
It's not true. There is a bit of water in the "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" song.
Yeah, but it's like,
Okay,
it's like
one-
I suppose, yeah.
desert,
But really,
desert
this
scene doesn't really do it except for the Oasis
Yeah.
part
no,
of it, isn't it?
it's like hot.
Yeah, the bit that gets
Yeah.
me is you can you imagine being there in November, December, and it's sub-zero, and you actually go through and you get the ride photo, and you've actually got the water that's splashing out from the side of the boat, like freezing in the air. It'd be quite one of those ones that you could really sort of, there you go, put that.
Nobody's going to want to do a log flume.
Do you think they'll change it before it gets built?
Right
It won't be
there.
a log flume anymore. It'll just be a Lion King themed ride.
Maybe.
A Lion
But
King
then we say this.
a walk through.
I hope so.
we have
Yeah.
water
Aladdin's
rides in the UK that are closed 4 to 6 months of the year. But then
Yeah.
most of our theme parks are closed between kind of
I seem to
November and
remember
March
I used to
anyway.
I used to ride the log flume in Blackpool in like northern weather. And that,
Yeah, but we're northerners, though, Simon. That's what
Whereas
makes it
we're all
bad. We
southerners.
never even thought twice about it getting wet and it be, catching your death of cold in the middle of November. It was like, that was great. Let's go again.
Yeah.
I didn't get wet enough.
No French or Italian
No.
person is going to ride a log flume from October.
More fool then. That's all I will say.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens and if that design or that announcement changes when it gets built.
I feel like it might.
When someone goes and does the ground visit and realises, hey, hang on a minute. Hang on,
They go,
It's a bit chilly.
It's the
Hang on.
marketing.
Are we doing the right thing here?
Yeah.
so September's upon us. We're getting into that autumnal weather.
"Ooh,
And,
Yeah. Are we? Not maybe not in Florida.
not in Florida,
Still
as it
Halloween.
turned out.
Still.
September was the month that Hurricane Helena
Oh,
hit
yeah.
Florida.
Yep.
So that brought quite a lot of devastation to the Gulf Coast, and it more or less passed right the way across central Florida.
The
So-
park's closed as well.
Park's
Doesn't often
closed.
happen.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
that Milton
Hurricane
Milton.
Helena was the one that
We
formed, that nearly hit our cruise.
Yeah.
It
Milton
formed
was
while we were in
October.
Cozumel.
Actually,
Yeah.
between the two of them, the actual destruction on that Gulf
Yeah,
Coast
was
is
a
actually
lot.
still being, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Fort
Claire.
Myers has just got.
I as someone, I always said Amaran Islands is one of the most beautiful places on earth, and the destruction there, and that they are still there, Treasure Island, even up as far as Clearwater, and trying to actually get life back into some semblance of order. And really, if you're from those areas or you own a property in those areas, even as you come up towards Christmas, we really feel for you, because actually, it's still heartbreaking looking back, and not just on how slow the process is, but just how devastating it's been, because it's just like, it's businesses, it's homes, and it's your entire life that goes just basically overnight. It's horrible, really is.
And I think Milton was particularly difficult. I've spoken to a few people who were obviously there the week afterward and had a conversation with some people who lived there. Actually, they were saying, we've never ever felt necessary before, but we're going to get storm shutters on our windows and all of those things, which, I think is, it's becoming more prevalent. It's more frequent, global warming, blah, blah, blah. It is important. And I think it's worth us mentioning at this point, if you are planning a trip to Orlando, some point between August and the beginning of
official hurricane season is 1st of June to 1st of November.
You know.
And it's one of those things.
It happens.
But when you prepare for a summer trip, you know there's going to be more storms, there's more rain. But then the further you get into sort of August, September, October, it's like we've been there it's a very different.
We've been there in September. We've had a hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there in August and had hurricanes in October. It happens.
Yeah.
It rarely hits the middle of the state because it's such Florida's a big place, and by the time it hits the middle of the state, it tends to have petered out a bit. However, this one didn't really. It was better, but it was still quite a significant hurricane. So just Can
also add from a very British point of view, it's not a time to be stoic and British about it. Do as you're told. Watch what you're told on the TV, because actually the guys over there know exactly how this is going to pan out. So don't even pretend that we'll be all right, Jack. You're not going to be. Go just
I lived through the 1987 hurricane. I'll be fine.
So September also saw the closure of the Dreams That Saw drone show, which was short-lived, and again, it's a shame when that sort of show disappears, having only been there for a matter of.
It'll be interesting whether it'll be a seasonal one every year. I hope so.
I would like to see them. I would like to see them bring that back. I mean, I don't really understand why it stopped.
No.
Why it couldn't carry on, because once they've got the technology, they've created the show.
Oh.
I mean, yes, it costs money to put cast members in to manage the crowd. I'm sure the drones have stuff they need,
but things. But
maintenance. It drew people to Disney Springs.
Part of me
did.
thinks, is it a test? Is it something that a little bit like
that's
we
what
did
we
before?
Said in 2016. Yes, 16. We thought it was a test then, and it took a really long time for it.
But I wonder though, financially, if you look at the timings of it, it's perhaps over a quarter of financial income for the Springs. Are they perhaps looking at how much extra revenue it actually brought into Disney Springs? Because certainly from what our experience of being in the Springs, it was so busy and it was vibrant, and you actually had the feeling that people were deliberately there to see the drone show, but it was bringing lots and lots more at that time of night as well. And I think that's, you've got the fireworks shows to compete with, you've got other stuff that's going on. And I wonder if it's maybe just, again, going back to the accountancy point of view, how big an input did it have into sales? Not just in respect of people going to World Disney and buying all kinds of merch, but also in the restaurants, in the bars.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the bit where it is being tested. And actually, I would love to see it return next year, because I think it deserves it.
It was free to people that went there. You don't pay to park at Disney Springs.
You don't have to spend anything.
You don't have to spend anything.
Park ticket.
So I guess they do need to work out that Disney have got to make the money back somehow, right? And that's got to be in some increase in sales.
Absolutely.
Restaurant paying,
I mean, to be
percentages
fair,
to Disney or through merchandise sales that Disney will sell.
Some of the restaurants that were out on the water, they charged a premium. If you wanted a table out on the water, it was like $100 per person.
Yeah. And I think that for me will be the lasting part of this, and to see, are they getting more people in on the back of a drone show, which, like it or not, I know we said about having cast members singing, dancing and being part of it, but a drone show must be considerably cheaper to actually run than a full parade, etc. Maybe they'll get a few other answers that way moving forward.
So we move to October then.
Hey,
Racing.
hang up. We need the alert again, don't we? We had the first one. Rant alert. Come in.
I think there has to be a rant alert about this one, because
it's big Disney news though, so we got to cover it.
Yeah.
So Lightning Lane Premier Pass launched in October.
Don't even go there.
And tell me, what is Lightning Lane Premier Pass?
Ridiculous.
Up to $450 per person.
Yeah.
Per
get your
day.
wallet out. Get your credit card out, because we're gonna absolutely take every single last cent and
Gives
dollar.
you front of line access.
So
Okay, so it's a bit like having your own VIP tour.
Pretty much,
Well,
yeah.
isn't it basically Disney's equivalent of the Universal Unlimited front of line
Express Pass, yeah.
Express Pass.
So can you only do rides once per day then?
No, it's the
Like Universal. Can you go on? Because I think Universal, if you stay on site, you can only do one ride per
no.
day.
So
it's unlimited.
Universal have got two different front of line passes.
Oh.
They've got the one ride a day, and they've got the unlimited one.
Yeah. But what was different with this is with Disney's Lightning Lane Premier Pass when it launched, it was only available to guests staying at deluxe hotels and DVC villas. Now it's available to anyone staying on site at Disney. But Universal is different because if you stay at one of their deluxe hotels, you get that included in your stay. Where with Disney, you still have to pay for it whether you're staying at value, moderate, or deluxe.
Yeah.
And I know one of the downsides to this is you can't book. Technically, you can't book it from the UK.
No,
Is that right?
You can now.
Yep. Yeah.
Changed now as well.
You know, earlier in the year where we had the issue where it's like it was only available Lightning Lane, because Lightning Lane's had a lot of changes this year. So we had it was Genie Plus at the beginning, then it changed to Lightning Lane, Premier Pass. Sorry, not Premier Pass, Lightning Lane, Multi Pass, and Single Pass. I need a degree to get around, around all of this.
Someone's taking notes.
No wonder I don't know what it is.
They can't make their minds up.
Because they've rebranded Genie Plus is now Lightning Lane and Multi Pass, which is the one you pay, which is up to like $35 per person per day, and you can park hop with that one. But the Premier Pass is the one where it's the front of line pass. You pay for it, but you don't book your slots. You just walk up to the attraction, tap in, and you're to the front of the line.
Oh.
Down the fast pass, but you don't have to worry about the timings. So it depends on obviously how busy your fast pass queue is going to be. No, you'll jump in the standby queue, but you would be if you pay for that. But you're only where with those you get your 3 selections and then each additional one. This one is like you can go to that attraction. It is. It's like
massively.
$35.
The cheap.
That doesn't seem to have put people off.
No.
The damn thing is still selling out, and that's always the problem.
I can't believe it.
If Disney bring that stuff out and people
Someone will pay
you're
it.
just going to go, well, it won't. Yeah, we'll just keep it.
Oh, great.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes me think that why they've bought it from deluxe hotels to availability for everyone staying at Disney Resort.
I think there weren't enough people buying it.
But it was
first.
selling out, or Disney was saying it was selling out.
But also, are there limited numbers?
I think you've hit the
That's
nail
like
on the
they
head.
say
there,
the
Ben.
queue's 30 minutes.
They were saying
agree.
it was selling out.
I was saying, it's sold out.
You're creating.
It probably
Also-
wasn't.
They're creating faux demand that doesn't exist to make it look like
Absolutely.
all these other people are
So-
getting it. Yeah.
Or is it
Allegedly.
that actually,
Yeah.
in reality, they only actually have 20 available a day?
So Premier Pass, you get a one-time entry to each available Lightning Lane experience in a park for one day, including the most demand attractions. So you don't have to pay an extra for like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Flight of Passage. You don't have to worry about those. But on the regular Lightning Lane, you have to pay.
But even if you paid for multi-pass and single pass, you would never get to the price of that Premier Pass.
But
You're not limited to a time. The difference with this, you
you're limited to what's available.
get to go whatever time.
Yes.
I know, but that's a tall order, right? If you're there and you've got a 14-day ticket, you just say there's no way I'm going to pay $450.
But what if you're there one day?
Then maybe.
This is the thing. It is.
there one
It's
day.
definitely not aimed for UK guests.
I think that's.
I don't think it is
that's
at all.
exactly right.
And the other benefit does come with PhotoPass included, but
Oh
It's
wow!
But
almost a UK ticket, so it's definitely not a.
it's really surprising. And
Is that to get a picture of you as you hand over your credit card details to pay for it? Yeah, it was just like,
Have you
Click.
crying at the end of the day?
yeah. I'm just like, yeah.
Drinking water.
What is also interesting, you can't park hop with it. So Lightning Lane Premier Pass gives you a one-time entry to each available Lightning Lane entrance in one park for one day.
It's worse. I'm just like,
That's so much.
Yeah.
That's so much worse. Yeah, I was thinking, wow, it's a bit like a VIP tour. Think how much they cost. You have them for 10 hours or whatever, and you can go from park to park to hitting all of the like top tier attractions. To me, I'd pay for. I mean, most of the time people do these because they want all the expensive high ticketed rides. So they want Rise of Resistance. They want to go on Avatar, Flight of Passage. They want to go on Tiana's. Well, whereas if you just pay for individual lightning lanes for each one of those,
It's going to cost you less anyway.
saving yourself still.
Can I just? I've really struggled with this. Right, we were there in August. So if you listen to us and you've got a trip planned for next year, right? We were there in August. I never paid. Yes, I'm tight, but we never paid, even for just a single lightning lane or anything like that. We didn't actually need it. We actually got onto every single ride, as you would hope to do in the course of a holiday. And when you look at the numbers involved in this, it's crazy. It really is. I just, I don't get it. I don't get it.
The family of four, you're nearly.
If you go into Animal Kingdom, it's between $129 to $200 a day. EPCOT is $170 to $250 per day. Hollywood Studios is $270 to $350 per day.
Yeah.
And Magic Kingdom is $330 to $450 per day.
Yeah.
Yes. I cannot see a world where I would pay that.
No, I can't.
And I'm also like you, John. I'm not going and paying extra.
No.
It makes me sound like a hypocrite because we did do that in Disneyland. And I think this is the difference.
But Robyn, there's a time
Disneyland
and a place.
do this one as well.
There is a time and a place.
Disneyland also do this one, which is $400 per day.
See, I wouldn't do that, but we did pay for the
lightning lane.
Whatever it's called is the $30-odd per day.
No, the lightning lane multipass.
It used to be a max pass, but it's
Multipass now.
It's the
and I think
multipass, I think, yeah.
that is the difference. If I think it's aimed at Americans that are coming at a few days, they're trying to make the most of their time versus us who are coming for 2 weeks. They've got a 2-week ticket that could take our time.
I think
We've also spent a fortune to get there versus Americans that often can even drive to be a bit cheap.
I also wonder if it's more aimed at solo travellers rather than big families of 4 or 5.
I thought you were going to say millionaires then.
Well, yeah, millionaires as well, obviously. But it's like Claire said, if you've got a family of 4 and you want 1 day at Magic Kingdom, that's nearly $2,000. That's a hotel stay.
Yeah, it's not.
There are much better ways.
Trip.
There are much better ways to spend that money in the parks if you're going to spend that money in the parks.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Are we finished ranting about
all I can say, and I'll highlight this again, to make it Disney versus Universal, is that if you go Universal Deluxe Resorts, you get the express passes included.
Yeah.
Included in your deluxe hotel stay.
And again, I would urge anyone who's got a trip plan for 2025, don't allow this to become a big part of your plan. Just allow yourself to just absorb what's there on the day. And if you need to, you can get the single. You can actually buy, if there's a ride you really want to do, you can buy the single one rather than waste too much money on something like this.
Yeah.
So more openings, more closures. Cake bake shop at Boardwalk. The old ESP.
We might be getting over to another rant in a minute.
That's controversial with the next one.
Who's buying a $25 slice of cake?
No.
Do you know what, Ben? I'm going to go and take one from the team because I want to see inside that place. I want to see what it looks like. And I want to taste something. To be honest, we might not get cake. Maybe not something with glitter on.
Can you imagine the effect, Robyn? I mean, it'd be like a snow globe. It'd be amazing.
That was literally the conversation I had with someone earlier who sent me a review of it. What? That was very similar to my response to her.
I just think you need to do that. I know, you know.
Oh,
It's so festive, you know.
Just to give context to anyone who listens to the show who doesn't know the backstory, I've got an ileostomy, which is a bag attached to the end of my small intestine, so I don't go normally. So yes, if I ate a load of glitter, I would see it very clearly.
Awesome.
Kind of, Claire, I do.
I think you need to.
Be prissy for a day.
Maybe it's worth the $25 just to find out.
You're accessible for the holiday season. Add some glitter for Christmas.
You could just you could just buy edible glitter from the supermarket and eat it if you really wanted to do that. It wouldn't cost you $25.
I could save you some money. I do actually. I've spoken to my friend that I'm going away with. We said we would like to go and just have a look inside, see if there's anything. I kind of want it. I feel like there's some savoury food on the menu that looks appealing. So we're going to go and split something just to taste it and see if we think it's well.
I loved when they announced a couple of weeks before it opened. They put the menus up like outside, and it just went all across social media how expensive this place was. And upon opening, everything was like $5 per item less. So.
Yeah, but it's still expensive.
It's still expensive, yeah.
It's still expensive. Now,
to be honest,
it's still very expensive.
They could have moved the decimal point one place, and that might have helped a little bit. Yeah, but they didn't.
Do you think they've messed everything up? So this cake should be $2.50, not $25.
Maybe.
What can you get for $2.50? There's a plastic bag if you look at it.
Oh, dear.
So another one that came out of the blue, that I know it was announced earlier in the year, but was the closure of Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. I don't know whether anybody had ever bothered going.
We've been. Yeah, we've been. Yeah.
You didn't, did you? I went with your mum while you were doing
that.
It wasn't great.
They closed in it because they did Lightning McQueen over at Magic Kingdom for cars. That's my guess.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they need the animatronic for that, but...
Why not?
Maybe.
Save some money.
I think that surprised a lot of people that was going to be closed to be replaced with a new villain show.
Again, you would think a villain show would go over in the Magic Kingdom, but
think
maybe
it will. And I think this is the bit where, for the first time in quite a while, I was going to say first time in forever, but hey, that's another show, isn't it?
It's down the road a bit.
First time in a while where there's a bit of joined up thinking here. If you actually get a villain show in place, you trial it, you get dancers, you get anybody, actors, etc., involved in that within Hollywood studios. Once Villains Land opens in Magic Kingdom, you've got something that's actually established, that's got an actual cast that you can actually transfer across. That's my tentative hope that's why it's happening.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it, but actually, if it is a bit, if a bit of joined up thinking, it's a really good sign.
So actually using Hollywood Studios as a test bed, just to
just that
we're not sure where to put this in Magic Kingdom yet, but we're going to just see what we've had. Cars in there for a couple of years. This show it's done well, so it's got to land. We'll move that.
I'm not quite sure done well is the word I'd use. I think most people were surprised it was closing because they didn't know it was there.
Yes,
I think,
but this location's it was used for Club Villain, and we went to Club Villain, and that was a really good evening show.
That's so good.
And it was a shame when that closed. So I think they've always had that thought that maybe something villains related could go back in there. But yeah, Club Villain when that was there was great. But I think it was an underutilized.
It was.
I don't think they'd really used that theatre in the way that they wanted to, and hence changed it and put Lightning McQueen in there. But I think the show going in there is supposed to be a bit like a kind of
like a talent
show for villains, and you'll vote in the audience for who's the best of the villains.
So this,
I think it might be.
That's what it is. They're trying to work out which villains to put into Villains Land. They're not sure who's popular. This is like one of these like social media polls. It's like instead of doing this, we're doing a show. Which one's your favourite? That one gets
Get
voted
more people
through.
watching the show than you would on the social media vote.
Who knows? With Muppets going to Rock and Roller Coaster, maybe that'll get a
show in there.
Short-term villains overlay before they put something else in there. Afterwards.
I think the other side as well, and looking at what we said earlier in the show in respect to the trolley show in Magic Kingdom, is also the fact that there's a real lack of, it's not talent, it's a lack of people to actually put into these roles. And if you can offer someone like a 1 or a 2 year contract to come on board and start off a new show, then you will find more people applying for it. The whole industry in respect of getting people involved, either in, again, going back to the evening Magic Kingdom parade, is trying to get people back on board and trying to get people back into Disney employment. they need a bit of stability. They need a little bit of, they don't want like a 2-month contract. They need something to know that it's going to pay the mortgage, it's going to pay the bills. And so hopefully this is one of those ones where they're actually going to develop people and actually take it across into Magic Kingdom, because actually they need people to entertain us. So we all want to be entertained.
So here we are in November. It's bonfire night for us in the UK.
Oh, you're just willing me. You're just willing me. You're just willing me into my comment about Guy Fawkes there, aren't you? Like, I'll refrain. There you go. Good Yorkshire man, there's old Guy Fawkes. That's it. Yeah.
November always brings the return of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party to Magic Kingdom. So that's always good for that to come back. But Jollywood Nights also returned this year, and with a couple of additions. I think there's a skating show in the evening this year. A few changes, but
a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
More characters.
So I think they've taken on board some of the feedback from last year's Jollywood Nights that didn't start with the greatest experience for the first few evenings last year. But it's good to see that back, because I think we went last year and we thought it was a really good evening. And speaking of Muppets, they had Kermit and Miss Piggy on one of the shows there, and I think the audience cheers for the Muppets was as big as I've seen at any evening show. I think that was one of the most anticipated parts of Jollywood Night, was that the Kermit and Miss Piggy were on the stage show.
From what I've seen this year,
I don't know whether that's
back this year. They've shortened the show, but Kermit and Miss Piggy are on the show more. So that's
good. December, we're hitting the end of the year. So
it's now. It's the here and now.
Now
we are in December. So that brings Festival of the Holidays back. I know we covered that in 2023 as well. So Festival of the Holidays is back at EPCOT, which brings all the New Year celebrations, fireworks, decorations galore. All the gingerbread houses and carousels are back at the resorts.
Don't miss them.
The train at the yacht club. Love the train.
The
little
model
village.
train village. Yeah. So there's so much to see.
And the Christmas.
I mean, is that even worth a mention anymore?
I like it. I used to like what it was before the pandemic, where it was just in an area all together, and you could go through each individual one. It was nice. Spend 20 minutes just walking through. Where now it feels like it's more of a I've got to find where this is on the map. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't bother with it now. It's too spread out. I'm not walking all that way.
See, I like that it's spread out, because it means that you can just, instead of having to just hunt through them and see them for half an hour, you get to see them just wandering around.
You just like it because they're near more shops, so you can this one's near Sephora, and this one's near Lego store or Uniqlo.
Can I just point out as well, if anyone's listening to this, if you're going out now or you're planning for next, all of the gingerbread house stuff and all the things in all the resort, you can go and visit. Even if you don't have a Disney ticket, you will be able to go and access. Please do. It's the most beautiful thing to see, to smell, and to actually enjoy. And again, it's unmissable. And lots of people who go for Christmas come back home, and then someone says to them, "Oh, did you see this at the Grand Floridian? Or did you see this?" And they've missed it. So write it down, put it on your must do, because it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Jump on the monorail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Trader Sam's, just to come back to drinking again. Trader Sam's always have Christmas themed tiki cocktails and drinks as well. So I think it's always a nice bar to go to for Christmas. It's
anytime. Especially at Christmas.
Go and sing like Kaliki Maka with all the tiki. And
put it on the list.
I think especially this month, where you've got the new villas and bungalows at the Polynesian Tower open.
Yeah. Or you need to get in there before they've opened, in the couple of days before now.
Okay, so challenge accepted.
Because it might get very, very busy all of a sudden. But the new villas and bungalows opening there, they've got additional facilities, right? They're not just opening and saying, well, we're reliant on everything Polynesian has as dining. It's got new bars and restaurants there. So, I think we'll wait and see what that looks like. I know there's people that saying it just looks like a Hilton hotel just shoved in next to the Polynesian.
I think it looks very pretty. I'm very excited.
Controversial view there, that's it.
I think it depends what angle you're seeing it from.
I'm converted. I'm a convert. I thought it looked rubbish. I think great.
I think everybody always does it a disservice until the place is open.
Yeah.
I think people said said negative things about the Riviera, and then look how great a result that is in general. So.
And the same with Gran Testino Tower. I remember how people were disliking that. Oh, we don't need this big like tower in this resort, and it's like it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in just a few days as well, Disney Treasure is going on its maiden voyage. So they had its christening event in November. Maiden voyage December the 21st.
Wow.
So those people that will be having Christmas on the high seas this year.
Very exciting.
That'll be good to be on a maiden voyage over Christmas.
Pricey though. It was very pricey. I might have had a look at the prices.
It's Disney Cruise, right? It's always going to be.
It's already top.
It's already going to be top end price.
Yeah. But it always is, I think, as well. I remember in the Wish for its first year the price was a lot higher. Then as soon as it went into its second year, the prices dropped just that ever so slightly. So because there's another new ship, and we didn't mention it earlier, but at D23 they're adding 4 more ships to the fleet. So it's going to be 13 in total.
That feels like a good segue into what's to come in 25, right? What have we got to look forward to each year is there are more ships setting sail in 2025. So aside from the Treasure on its maiden voyage, now we've got Disney Destiny and Adventure, both due to set sail in 2025. There's more maiden voyages and more routes for more itineraries for Disney Cruise Line. Festival of the Arts is back. We covered that obviously in show 1, but that's back in January. Then there's loads of little things coming as well. The random Spaceship Earth Lounge opening in EPCOT, which was like just shove that in as a little additional thing that's coming. The Villain Show we've already mentioned, but then it's all the start of all of the new things coming across Disney World. Closures at Animal Kingdom coming in January, phase closures of all the Dinorama area and Dinoland. I think the majority of the big stuff is staying open. Dinosaur will be open, but Triceratops Spin and all of the Chester and Hester Dinorama area will be closed. But then we've got things to look forward to. Test Track Reimagined opens later in the year. They've just released new concept art and videos for that. So we'll wait and see what they do with that.
I think Big Thunder's closing for a year-long refurbishment for a full retrack.
Wow.
I'm hoping Big Thunder gets the same ending with the light effects and the explosions that they have at Disneyland, because I think
I'd be happy with a photo pass. I really would.
Don't dream big. Just give me a photo.
I'll just want a photo. Yeah. Go down that first hill. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
And we've already mentioned Muppet Vision 3D is going to close at some point in 25 as well, and more of the work to start at Hollywood Studios. But it also brings another Destination D23 returning next year, which is supposed to be an even bigger event. So hopefully we'll get some more news, teasers, concepts that will come out. Maybe we'll see what they're going to do with Launch Bay, right? Maybe they'll finally...
They'll ignore it. It'll be one of those things that Disney don't realise they have. And it's like, oh, we've got this space that's not being used. But yeah, Destination D23 is the 29th, 30th and 31st of August.
Maybe
at Coronado Springs.
They could put some animation things in that area. Just sorry. No, they got rid of them years ago. Yeah, but just saying.
Oh, are you there that weekend?
We go home that weekend.
We go home on the 29th.
There you go.
Go home on the 30th.
You could get a one-day ticket and go on the 29th, Claire.
Yeah.
That's going to be very peoply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've probably got to want to like queuing as well if you want to get into the main panels.
Yes, I think that's exactly it. I think we've forgotten one thing, though, which I think is going to overshadow everything that we probably do in the whole of 2025.
That's why I was leaving that intentionally, John, because I think that's going to overshadow anything.
I just think
Disney can come along with any amounts of Pirates of the Caribbean lounges and new hotels, but I think 2025 is always going to be the big one down the road.
It's an epic year.
It's an epic year for Universal, with Epic Universe opening. I think they've targeted Memorial Day 25.
I believe so.
Yeah, opening days.
Yeah.
So I think that's
weekend.
I think that's likely to be the most anticipated thing for most people in the theme park world next year. Is all the teasers that we've seen of attractions coming there.
I'm so excited. As soon as the annual pass holder tickets come available, it's like we booked them straight away. I can't wait to go next August.
I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Yeah,
I really can't. I'm excited.
We're interested to see what we think of it, how it will impact our plans for the following year. Because yes, we love Walt Disney World. I'm loving Disney, but we enjoyed our time at Universal this year, and it's just whether we want to spend more time at how much we get done at Epic Universe on that one day we've got, where in the following year we can spend more time there. So we're interested to see what it's going to be like.
It's exciting now, isn't it?
Well,
it's
very
extraordinary times in the theme park world where you actually see Universal actually becoming much more engaged with a duel. You know, I think back to Duel and Dragons and things like that, but it's basically the Universal Disney bit and who gets the biggest dollar and the biggest sort of input of people's time during the Orlando holiday, and actually we're the only people that are going to benefit from this, because actually when two companies are in opposition, it generally means that the discounts, there will be real special offers that we can all make use of, and I think that's what we need to sort of bear in mind. Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah.
I did think it was coincidental when Disney announced a couple of weeks ago that for if you're going from July onwards next year, that the 14-day ticket, UK Ultimate tickets are a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but weird, strangely enough, as if by magic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the lowest price for tickets was £409 per adult.
That's pre-pandemic pricing.
Yeah. And tickets for my trip, a UK Disney trip, UK Ultimate tickets for next week, when we're recording this, are £600.
Yeah. They know what's coming, and actually, I think what we can only do is, for anyone who listens to the show, stay tuned with us for the whole of next year, because it's going to be a literal roller coaster ride for most of it, and I just bring it on. That's all I can say.
Can't wait.
I think it feels like this year's been one of news and minor thing, nothing too big opening.
Yeah.
I think it's just lining everything up for 2025.
I think it's been announcements for this year. Yeah. And next year is going to be putting those announcements into place.
Yeah.
Breaking ground on those announcements.
Yeah.
Following through with those promises that they've made. And I'm excited for it.
So we've had a busy year. It's going to be a busy year next year, right? I think everybody's got trips planned.
Oh,
yep.
And everybody's going to get to sample a little bit of everything that the parks have got to offer. So I think that just about wraps up Great British Mickey Waffle look back at 2024. So big thanks to everyone here with me, and thank you all for joining and listening along with us as well. So if you've enjoyed today's show, don't forget to take a moment to subscribe to our podcast. Leave us a review if you care to. It always helps spread that Disney magic a little bit more. And for those watching our YouTube channel, don't forget we always appreciate a like and a subscribe as well. Don't forget as well, you can follow us on social media for more tips, fun updates. As ever, we are at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And I'm reliably informed we're on Blue Sky as well. So, right, bang up to date with our social media.
It's that
we'll be back. It is. Yeah. So we'll be back again soon with even more waffling from all of us lot. So until then, we will see you real soon.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Now my wheels in motion and my